Attention all Waggoner hands, this is your captain speaking. I have been asked to show you how to do these time cards and green sheets. So the first thing I want to show you is our weekly time card. That would be this thing right here, front and back. So if you'll notice, what I've done on this is that I've went ahead and dated each square. That way there's no confusion as to when it ends, when it begins, and when it ends. Up here I write the end date. I legibly write my name, and then I do my autograph right there at the bottom. So on the back side, I do the same, except we've got Friday, Saturday, and then it jumps over here to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you happen to be working on Sunday, you can use this area say for example, we'll just go ahead and write in Sunday, July 10th. And then you can write in whatever you do during Sunday if you're on call that weekend. So be sure to write your dates in, write your name legibly, and the key word is to write everything nice and neat. Miss Jill shouldn't have to spend 9 hours trying to decipher sloppy writing. So as you can see, I've got some times written in, and let me go ahead and tell you this. Everything I've got written on these cards are for example. So there's nothing real, it's all fictitious, but it's an example for you to follow. So anyway, let's look at what we call the green sheets. So right here we have a green sheet. At the top, as you can see, I've written my name legibly, and then I've written the date over here. So let's go ahead and look at these little squares here. So the first square I have is Shop Farm, and I tell what I did that day in a brief description. And then I write my times from 8 to 8:15. From there, I go to my first call, which is Katie Lewis, not a real person, not a real street, town is real. I write down what I've done, and of course I forgot to include, let's go ahead and include a capacitor. And so we write in the capacitor, which is normally a 7.5 UF run capacitor. Now remember, writing neat is not only for Miss Jill's benefit, but for Terry's benefit as well, as they work off these green sheets to do their invoicing. So now, when you do a customer, if it's a regular customer, we write REG in there versus the usual SAD that I write in there. You write the name, address, town, the phone number, and then the time, and then of course there's the time again, 8:50 to 9:45. Next we've got Kyle Bass, another fake name, another fake street, real town, fake phone number, but you can understand, you get the gist of the idea of what I've done. And I've wrote the time 10:20 to 11:55. He had 2 units that needed to be serviced, washed out both condenser units as well. The main unit needed some repair, so I replaced the capacitor on it. Be sure to list it, that way we can charge the customer. Up here we've got lunch. If you eat lunch, be sure to write it down. In this case, I did lunch from 12:10 to 1:10, and then I contacted the next customer in Kilgore, Texas, where I did a warranty compressor swap out. If you do a warranty compressor swap out, or any compressor swap out, please include the compressor model and serial number. If you used a dryer, which I strongly recommend, use a dryer, weigh in your refrigerant, and also if you did anything extra, be sure to write it down. Pulled and washed evap coil, used half-gal coil cleaner. After that, we are pretty much closing the day out, so I've got shop farm again, and as you can see, my time here for lacy fur, and then my time here for the shop. And usually what I do is I go ahead and fill up the truck, throw any scrap out of my truck into the scrap bin. If it's a warranty compressor, it needs to be boxed up, sealed up, and ready to return if the manufacturer wants it back. If not, throw it in the scrap bin. And then of course, finished today's paperwork. Not did all of today's paperwork, finished today's paperwork. Because this is stuff that you normally want to do as you go along. It doesn't take very long. So what we do when we transfer the time from the green sheet to the time card, as you see, everything matches up, the times match up, the names match up, and of course lunch. Now if you'll notice, I highlighted lunch. That way they can see in the office that we did take a lunch. And then of course we've got Lacy Fur and her time, and then shop farm. On this side, what I've done is I started my time at 8, and then of course I went from this to this, which is lunch. And then of course this is the last time of the day when we leave the farm to go home. So hopefully that helped out a little bit. Please keep in mind that when doing these times, you just do it as you go along. And also, I noticed that some of y'all like to write your stuff down in a notebook and then write it down all at the end of the day, sometimes at the end of the week, which to me is not very smart. Go ahead and do your time card. Go ahead and do your green sheet, and at the end of the day, write everything you want down in your notebook that you did that day. It's called organization. Now, for those of y'all with sloppy handwriting, please straighten it up. Let's do the best we can to get these time cards in. You are responsible for your time. You're responsible to do your time correctly. That way, Miss Jill can do your checks correctly. Your time is valuable, and you want to get paid for it. So let's take steps, please, to do this correctly and do the best you can. And I know that it's long and hot summer, and everybody just please take care and stay hydrated. But let's stay on top of the time, and for those of you who like to leave your time cards in trucks that you know you're not going to be in for a week, don't do it again. Keep up with your time. If you're working partners with somebody, go ahead and fill out your green sheet and fill out your time card. It's very important. Do not rely on another person to keep up with your time. You are responsible. Okay, guys, If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have any smart-ass remarks, please refrain from using them because I'm not in the mood for it. I'll be more than happy to help you out. You know my phone number. And that's it. Your captain is signing off now.